Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Yasin, local HTN A. I will briefly explain what the Omnibus Law. Indonesia Omnibus Law, shifting of authority and or possible change of policy trade closer. On 5 October 2020, the Parliament approved the Job Creation Law or RUU Cipta Kerja, commonly known as the Omnibus Law. The Omnibus Law amends a number of existing laws. November 21, 2020, Author Wimbanu with Yamoko Nita Dejaja Diretja Cahyani Endahayu Riza Budi Tomo Vika Ekha and Audi Ferdiananda. Omnibus Law. In brief, on 5 October 2020, the Parliament approved the Job Creation Law or RUU Cipta Kerja, commonly known as the Omnibus Law. The Omnibus Law amends a number of existing laws, including the following: Law Number 7 of 2014 on trade or trade law, Law Number 39 of 2009 on special economic zones or ZES law, Law Number 36 of 2000 on the stipulation of government regulation in lieu of Law Number 1 of 2000 on free trade zones and free ports or Law 13(6). Law Number 37 of 2000 on the stipulation of government regulation in lieu of Law Number 2 of 2000 on Sabang Free Trade Zone and Free Port or Law 37. Essential changes to the trade law. The Omnibus Law amends several provisions of the trade law. The notable changes are as follows: introduction of business license term. The amendment of the trade law reforms that trade licensing will be done electronically through the only system. The amendment also introduced a business license exemptions by the central government, but does not provide further guidelines on this. Distribution. The amendment of the trade law only stated the further regulation of distribution will be regulated in government regulation. We do not see any significant change in relation to distribution in the amendment of the trade law. Export and import. The Omnibus Law aims to drive export by introducing a new government mandate to issue policy on the improvement and development of export innovative national product. Further, the trade law has been amended to mention that there will be further provisions or determination on used improved goods that should be regulated in government regulation. Note: in theory, all improved goods must be in new condition or unless regulated Have nice. So, this is an explains to the prince child. Further, this change indicates that the Ministry of Trade will now share its authority to regulate this matter will previously it was under the sole authority of the Ministry of Trade. The trade law also stipulates that importers are not required to obtain a business license of import that are not carried out for business activities, as there is no further explain of what is meant by imports that are not carried out for business activities. It is unclear whether it is intended for import for personal use or for any other purpose, and it is also unclear how implementation will be done on imports for that purpose. In relation to the temporary import and export, the amendment of the trade law delete a province that obliges exporters or importers to obtain purpose for temporary importation and exploitation. With this direction, it remains to be seen how the temporary importation and exploitation will be implemented. This might relate to the authority of the Directorate General of Customs and Excise to supervise the movement of the temporary imported goods. The above summary only applies to the general importation of goods. The importation of certain goods shall refer to the specific regulation. For example, the provision on the importation of horticultural product must refer to additional specific import requirements. Sentience. The amendment of the trade law provides the type of administrative sanctions that can be imposed for violation of certain provision of the trade law. Namely, wearing, later recall of the product from distribution, temporary suspension of business activities, closure of warehouse, fines and or revocation of the business license. However, a government regulation will further provide the criteria, type and amount of fines and procedure for the administrative sanctions. We note that there are some changes in the criminal sanctions and fines under this amendment. For example, for violating the requirement to use of Indonesian language in labels, there is an increase of the fine from either 5 billion to be either 10 billion, and the amendment provides an exemptions from criminal sentence of business caught with law or mid risks. Changing from mystery regulation government regulation, the amendment of the trade law indicate the government will use further guidelines, not the ministerial regulation. This is in line with the spirit of the Omnibus Law to streamline the listening and guidelines for years of doing business in Indonesia. For her, as discussed above, some deletion of the previous may influence the authority of other government institutions such as the Directorate General of Customs and Excise, which is under the Ministry of Finance's supervision. Overall, subject to the issuance of further implementing regulation, we can say that these changes are not significant compared to calls in other sectors. The amendment does not include specific proposal to liberalize investment in the trading sector. We may see further implementing regulation from the central government in the near future. Change to special economic zones. The Sea Law is amendment to provide more business opportunities and activities in the special economic zone or ZEZ. The production, distribution, education, and health sector are now included in the rank of business activity allowed to operate in the ZES. Further example of now in activities profit under the Omnibus Law are related to the explain of import, the relaxation on the appointment of foreign commissaries and directors, importance of consumption goods, and broader understanding of learning friends that might enjoy the facility in the ZES. Change to the free trade zone and free port zone. The Omnibus Law directs some specific province on free trade zone and free port zones authorized bodies, i.e. zone community and deputy concession, and stipulates their mayor authorities will be regulated under government regulation. Change to Sabang Free Trade Zone and Freeport Authority. There is not significant change to Law 37. That amendment only stipulates that the provisions on excise exemption facilities should be in accordance with prevailing law and regulation. Implementing regulation, the Omnibus Law provides that the relevant implementing regulation, including government regulation, must be used at the latest months after the enactment of the Omnibus Law. The existing implementing regulation of the trade law, yes law, Law 36 and Law 37 remain effective to the extent that do not contract the province under the Omnibus Law. Thus, implementing regulation must be harmonized with the province under the Omnibus Law, the latest months after the enactment of the Omnibus Law. There are also the impacts from validation. Workers and number 1, workers and threatened not to receive severance pay. Number 2, TKA is easier to enter RE. Number 3, the maximum 3 years limit for contract employees is removed. Number 4, additional overtime, hours, and long leave are gone. Number 5, no more UMK. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.